What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the fantasy podcast from the SaucyTakez channel. Y'all already know where we're on, man. We got to discuss week one. We got a nice little episode for you guys. Hopefully, let them know about the people. So, introduce yourself to the people.
What up? What up? You already know who it is. Um, Went 3-2 in the week, so can't really be mad about it when you win more than you lose.
Hey, I can be very upset. I went 1-3. I lost to a kicker. I don't know why we still play with those in some leagues. And in another league, I didn't set the right lineup. I was given the least efficient manager, which is means at least there's talent on my team. I just couldn't find it in week one.
Well, you
I
definitely
looked in the
didn't
wrong
do that
places.
in our main league, scoring 194 points.
When it's rivals week, man, you just got to come with that little extra oomph. You gotta really, you gotta get down to business. There's no cutting. You got to cut out all the BS and just stick to it. And I'm glad I destroyed him. Honestly, you know, what is that, like a 71-point difference? He was also the lowest scoring manager on the week. Not like it would have helped him if he was the second highest scoring, because your boy had to take that. But, shout out to Saquon for real. Saquon killed it. My receivers were absolutely deadly. I think the only bad start I had was, if I'm not mistaken, it was Pierce over like guys like Dylan. But at that point, I know you see right there. You know what's ironic, guys? Remember the first episode I was talking about the tight end sleeper? It had to be Gerald Everett. I was dropping Austin Hooper for him, and there you have it, bro. Just an absolutely onslaughter, just one catch for 6 yards, and Everett was going crazy. So it's just ironic. It played out exactly how I expected it to.
Yeah, despite you going 1-3, just remember that there could always be worse, and that was solid this week. He went 0-4, 0-4 in all his leagues. I'm not sure if he won the Mega Bowl that we're in, but he had a really tough week this week, and that's why we're actually not interviewing him. We're gonna give him a little leeway and mercy.
We're gonna give him a break just so he can get his feelings back together. He can regather himself. We're recording this on Wednesday morning, but at this point, we still think he's in a bunch. Like he doesn't know where he's going. I called him. He doesn't pick up. Like the poor guy is just. He's going through it right now.
Yeah, when you have a relative pass away, you gotta give time for mourning, and this is I don't really see a big difference in going 0-4.
The 100%. It's the same thing. R.I.P. Grandma. R.I.P. My fantasy team. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So, we're gonna recap some of the games as well from this week. But first, let's start off with some of the news, like just some injury news throughout the week. Obviously, I think the biggest one is Senor Prescott. No,
I actually completely forgot about him, but
that's
that is one of the biggest news, and it does hurt CD Lamb, Zeke, Pollard,
Schultz,
Schultz,
the team. Like,
the whole team. Yeah, I mean, even with Dak though, like we'll talk about it
they
when
look,
we get to that game, but they did not look good. The whole Cowboys organization as a
yeah,
whole.
you know what they always say. This is their year. So we're gonna get a lot of Cowboys haters. I actually like the Cowboys. Not my favorite team, but I enjoyed their players. But my God, that was just a putrid performance week one. I'm not gonna lie, it was bad from top to bottom. But we'll get to that.
Yeah,
Some other injury news is Elijah Mitchell. He got hurt while he was out there swimming, basically in that Bears game.
yeah. I actually don't have Mitchell on any teams, but that's really tough. Week one injury, like I can't
I
imagine.
bel
I hope you have depth.
Yeah, I believe he's expected to miss 2 months as of right now. That's not been, you know how injuries are. It could be 2 months, it could be one and a half, it could be three. But definitely that's at least 8 to 10 games in my opinion. So, if you drafted Mitchell, unless you have two IR spots or you can spare your IR spot, I'd probably be looking. Maybe I'd hold on to him for a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know what I'd do honestly. I don't have him in any league for a couple reasons actually. Injuries being one of them.
Yeah, I think I'd drop him just because I feel like that team, even with Mitchell, is like a three-headed committee. between Lance, Debo, and Mitchell, or whoever is going to be the running back. So
I completely agree. We also have some news for tomorrow's game. Keenan is also out. I don't know if you saw, he was absolutely killing kids per usual. You know how Keenan does it. Just dogging. I think he had 4 catches in the first like 6 minutes of the game, and then he had a nice little no, it wasn't nice. He just pulled his hammy or something like that, and he's going to be out 1 to 2 weeks. Apparently, they don't really know the difficulty of the strain, or it hasn't been released to us. They probably do know. So and they play the Chiefs this week, so that sucks for all the Keenan Allen holders because he was definitely at least due for targets this week against the Chiefs.
Everett season.
Already on it, baby. How about we go to let's go to the games, man. Let's go quite nice little quick recap. We're gonna try to recap every game. It's not gonna take too long. We're just gonna try to zoom by these. Um, with Saints and the Falcons. Absolutely great game, in my opinion. Jameis had like 45 passing yards at halftime. I was like, God damn, my Jameis takes are looking bad. And then he was like, you know what, man? I got you. He started going crazy. He played good. Kamara didn't. So if you're holding on to Kamara right now, you don't feel good about week 1, but you also don't feel bad, man. It's Alvin Kamara, guys. Like, calm it down. Like, he has his history. Jameis was targeting Landry a lot though. I started Landry in one of my other leagues because in the preseason it was kind of like this. But Landry, Thomas, and Olave got some decent targets. Olave actually led all the receivers in snaps, and then it was Landry, and then it was Thomas. So that's very interesting. So if you have Olave, hold on to Olave. Don't try to sell him now because his value is not that high. But I do think Olave is going to get more involved as the year goes on.
Yeah, and
How
then
about you?
on the other side, we have Cordero Patterson, who just torched the Saints. 22 for 120, averaging 5.5 a carry and a touchdown. This man is 31 years old doing this, and I didn't expect it. I was low on him, but you know, I think it's going to apply to every game that we're going to talk about. It's just week 1. We're not going to just because we see this happen doesn't mean we're going to see it every week.
Don't overreact, guys.
Yeah,
Do not overreact.
don't take victory laps. Don't tilt, especially with Kamara. Unless you're in a league with Lewis and you have Kamara, I would definitely say to trade him away to Lewis because Lewis will
Yeah, I'm buying all the stock
Lewis will buy
and
that
then
stock.
some,
Yeah.
and then some.
And then we
Yeah, I was gonna say just like Kamara, don't try to tilt on Pitts either. I know he had a bad week.
I was just about to talk
Um,
about him. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead then take it over, man. I'll be back up.
Yeah. Pitts, he had 7 targets, only 2 catches, 19 yards. It was a disappointing day for someone who was drafted pretty high and considered one of the top 4 or 5 tight ends. But this is definitely not going to happen every week. Mariota is going to get him more involved as the season goes on. We have to remember that this is a new QB, and the Saints' defense is actually pretty good,
Yeah,
despite
they were
despite
last year.
despite giving up 26. But um,
I actually think that bodes well for the Falcons going forward, man. Mariota threw 33 times, and they were basically in control. Like they had positive game scripts, so they should have been rushing, and obviously they did rush a lot. But 33 attempts in a game that they were up, that bodes well for not just Pitts, but Drake London, bro. He looked all like that number one receiver. Let me tell you, he looked very very good out there. I have him in a couple leagues. I'm trying to get him in some more just because I think the talent is there, bro. Like this guy is like 6'4", 6'5", just gets open at every area of the field. Great hands, makes people miss. Like I'm. Let me just say, Pitts and London, if they go out there and they get one of them college quarterbacks, Stroud or whoever they get, bro, that's going to be a formidable tandem for the future, especially when Calvin Ridley comes back. That's going to be a scary offense.
100%. And I don't understand why people were fading London at the draft. Solid. Um, it just didn't make sense to me. Him being the basically the wide receiver 1 there. But we'll see how it progresses over the season. The next game we're talking about is the Niners and the Bears, aka
Blood Bowl.
the Flood Bowl, and it was. I think we can completely chalk this game up. Don't pay attention to really anything here, except for
Yeah.
the fact that Eli Mitchell got hurt. But
Yeah, that's the only news, I guess, that you can look away. I mean, Jadjuan Jennings got a couple targets in there. He was like the go-to guy, but like if you have Ayuk, he got 2 targets, but bro, like honestly, it doesn't matter. Chalk the whole game away.
yeah,
I guess you like that Trey Lance ran the ball a lot, 13 carries. Same thing on the other side for Fields. I believe he had like 11. Wasn't productive on him, but you still like it. And just, I mean, honestly, other than that, then I think there's nothing to go off of in this game, to be honest.
yeah, that's why we're just gonna move on to the next one.
Yeah. Move on to the next one. We got the Steelers and the Bengals here. Man, oh man, this was a crazy game personally. Just an absolute just missed field goal after missed extra point, blocked field goal. Like it was just crazy. But Joe Burr was feeling real cold this day. I guess he had the Burr effect. But just threw 4 picks, had a fumble, looked bad, and with all that said, still threw for 330 yards, almost win the game. So like Bengals are fine. Mixon was just they were force feeding this man just targets, carries, targets, carries. Um, Jamar Chase was showed you why he was a top 5 receiver in this year in fantasy. Um, and for the Steelers, just a whole lot of no information in my opinion. Um, it was just a weird game. A lot of empty targets. Fryermuth got involved, so if you have him like I do, you should be pretty, happy with the week. Don't expect much from him. Najee's supposedly hurt. Is there any injury news on that? Have you heard or seen anything?
Yeah, so Jalen Warren was supposed to be like a top waiver wire pickup, and then news came out, I believe yesterday, Tuesday, that Najee is expected to play. So I would not waste a waiver priority or fab on Jalen Warren. With that said,
I would not waste fab on Jalen Warren unless I have Najee Harris, and even then, I just don't think the Steelers running backs are going to be as good as they were last year. They don't have Big Ben just checking down every time. Like Trubisky tries to look down the field, he's not very good at it, but he does it. So like it bodes well for guys like Fryermuth. He was targeting the tight ends a lot because I think he threw Gentry a couple balls. I liked how Claypool got involved, honestly. The 6 carries for a receiver and 6 targets, like you kind of want that from your receiver, especially Claypool being a big play threat consistently. They didn't really use him like that, but Pickens was it was slim pickings for Pickens out there. He just couldn't do much. Only 3 targets, and T
yeah.
Higgins got hurt too. So
Yeah, Pickens actually had 37 routes ran and only 3 targets. So there's probably better days ahead just because
yep,
of the amount of time he was on the field. But we'll see.
yeah, absolutely.
The next game is actually the highest scoring game of the week, I believe. I could be wrong, but it
No, you're
was,
you're correct.
yeah, the Eagles and the Lions, 38-35. Eagles won by 3. Hurts 243, 18 for 32. No touchdowns through the air, but he did get one on the ground. And this rushing is just hideous. We
Crazy.
got we got 4 people that scored on the ground: Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts, Kenneth Gainwell, and Boston Scott. This is a four-headed committee. I wouldn't.
I'm actually gonna disagree with you there just a little bit, man. I'm gonna be honest. I think Sanders is if look, everybody's selling Sanders now because he just had a good week. Go get Sanders. I've been trying to get Sanders in a couple leagues. I'm actually very high on him. Like like I said, bro, that line is nasty. You guys saw the line. Like the Detroit defense isn't great, but they're not horrible. Miles Sanders had 13 carries. Yeah, he got vultured a couple of touchdowns, but to be honest, like if you tell me I get 15 touches, 12 to 15 touches from the guy behind the best offensive line in football, then shit, I'll take it, bro. Like, especially if they're selling. They're trying to sell high on him, but he doesn't cost you too much. Then I would target Miles Sanders personally. I'm just a Sanders believer.
Yeah, and I'm a Sanders hater. So I'm gonna stick to not touching him. But I do agree with you on some points. You know, he didn't have w- more twice as much really. If you combine Gainwell and Boston's touches, he had more than that combined. So
No,
he's
yeah,
he's the
I
best back. He's the best back on the team.
exactly, and that's the point. That's basically what it comes down to. He may not have a specialized role like Gainwell, but I honestly don't think Gainwell is better than him. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I think the eye test tells you Miles Sanders is the best running back there. Boston Scott isn't bad by any means, but you know, what about AJ Brown though, man? What a freaking demon out there. Jesus Christ.
That man was soloing the Lions pretty much because he had 10 catches, 155 yards on 13 targets, averaging 15.5 a catch. And the person behind him had 3 catches, which was Dallas
Four
Goddard
targets.
on 4 targets. So Hertz was just tunnel vision to AJ Brown, which I don't blame him. He's the best receiver on the team and he's really hard to cover. But if AJ Brown puts up these numbers, he's going to be in the conversation with Jefferson, Cup, Chase, Diggs, Adams. Like
Yep.
he could be top 5, which is pretty crazy at the value you got him in the draft, which was, more like the 13, 12 range.
Yeah. I definitely, bro. I love AJ Brown. I've actually hit up somebody in our league for him. For decline, but he said he'll get back to me in the future because last year I actually traded him AJ Brown. So me and him have a history of just feeding each other some AJ Brown. What are you doing though if you have Devontae Smith? Like, how are you feeling? Because he put up a big old donut, 4 targets, no catches, no yards, just nothing. Honestly, like Zach Pascal caught a pass before him.
Yeah. I'm not actually worried about Devonta Smith. I think he's going to get his, especially after this first week. He actually had a really bad drop wide open in his hands and he just dropped the ball. But it happens. I think he probably will bounce back next week. He's too talented to be putting up those numbers every week.
So I'm gonna speak just from a little bit of experience here. Obviously, it's not the same team, it's not the same offense, but the Eagles scrambling quarterback, people say is not that good of a passer, stuff like that. And Lamar Jackson's very similar. I'm actually very low on Devontae Smith. I didn't want him in any draft. People try to trade me him, and I have Jalen Hurts in some league. I don't want him. I want AJ Brown or nothing in that offense in terms of receiving talent. Maybe Goddard. Take a flyer on Goddard, but from my experience, I mean Lamar and Jalen Hurts are different quarterbacks, but they rush a lot essentially. So what we'll get to, and not the most accurate passers according to some people, but they're still talented enough. Don't know if I can just sit there and just want Devontae Smith. Typically, just give me the best receiver in the offense. They're gonna hyper target AJ Brown, and Devontae Smith will have a good game every now and then. Kind of like Marquise. I mean, Marquise Brown was better than what Devontae Smith did yesterday, but just I'm not really sold on his target share in that offense.
Okay. Talking about the
And
other
then
side, um,
yes, sir.
my boy Swift, 15 carries, 144 yards, 9.6 average. People were talking about how he couldn't run in between the tackles. He definitely proved them wrong yesterday. And I think some people are worried about Jamal Williams. I wouldn't. Swift had 67% of the snaps, 66% of the routes, 57% of the rush attempts, 67% on short down distance, and 100% on long down distance. Williams is getting a third of the work. It's pretty clear. And that's probably the right move by the Lions because Swift is the most talented back on that team. And he can continue to do this and possibly be top 5 by the end of the season.
Absolutely agree. DeAndre Swift looked great this game. Um, to be honest, I think he had multiple plus 20-yard runs. He was just getting big chunk play after big chunk play. And the Eagles are not a bad run defense whatsoever. They have one of the best D lines in the league, especially now adding Jordan Davis to it. I just really, yeah, Jamal Williams gonna vulture a couple touchdowns here and there. Hopefully you don't want it to affect your fantasy week that bad, but Swift is still getting the valuable, like he's getting long distance, like you said, catching down work. He's still gonna get 15 carries. They were down and they were running the ball. Like they were down 38-21. They were still running the ball. So that bodes well for Swift. And if they're down 38-21, it still bodes well for Swift because he's gonna be getting the passing down work. So honestly, just really like Swift this year. Take a flyer on Jamal if you want him on the back of your bench. It's not a bad player to have. But Amon Ra, 12 targets. Crazy, crazy. Just he's never gonna break out like crazy, like 5 catches for 130 yards. I don't think that's his game. But he's just a PPR guy. Like he's a check down guy. He's just the chain mover in the offense. You get what I'm saying? Just really high value for, in my opinion. I love Amon Ra this year, so it's nice to see him get 12 targets.
For sure, I 100% agree.
Moving on now, we got the my game of the week because I wanted a lot of questions answered, and I think we had some answered. The Dolphins 20 and the Patriots 7 points. Just honestly, Mac Jones looked bad. The Patriots offense looked bad. No receiver outside of Jacoby Myers looked anywhere halfway decent. And for the Dolphins, just Tua was being Tua, nothing special, but definitely accurate enough in his reads. I don't know if you saw, he actually underthrew Tyreek the first play
I didn't.
for what a like it was like a bad like they it was like a bad snap. He didn't have time to get his feet set. Like it wasn't just his fault. Don't get me wrong, but like Tyreek had like a 70-yard bomb. Like he was blown coverage. He was wide open, and he could not get to him. Like he was pressured by that time. But Tyreek 12 targets. You feel good about Tyreek in the offense. Jalen Waddle 5 targets, had a tutty. Just typical things. How do you feel about Chase Edmonds though?
I feel good. I know he didn't put up like a lot of like huge numbers or anything. He went 12 for 25 on the ground, 4 for 40 through the air. But compared to Mostert, he's getting twice the work, and I I think he's gonna do really good, like talked about before in the past.
I completely agree. Completely agree. I'm on right there with you with Mostert. I don't know if you also saw the Ty Montgomery. He got hurt or something. So now, yeah, like what do you think about Damian and Ramondre? Do you want any of them? Are you confident in starting any of them, or you just kind of want to see how this plays out?
Yeah, it's a wait and see for me. I don't have any of them in any leagues, so I don't really have to like stress like who I'm playing or who I'm sitting.
Fair
Uh,
enough. Fair enough.
one of my takeaways from this game is Mike McDaniel. He I know it's not a big deal, but he went for it on 4th and 7 right before halftime, which led to a touchdown. And I love it when coaches actually have the guts to do that because like your Ravens have shown in the past, going for
Yep.
it on 4th down is extremely beneficial and increases your win percentage. So yeah, I just really like that.
I agree 100%. The analytics say go for it on fourth down more than punt it on fourth down or kick a field goal on fourth down. Um, and then talking about the Ravens, man, just I'll be full disclosure. I saw some of the other games. But in terms of 1 o'clock game, just so you guys know, whatever the Ravens are on, I'm just watching the Ravens. Like this is my ride or die team. Um, 124-9. Lamar looked good in the second half. It was raining, so it was kind of ugly to start. Also, we didn't play any of our starters in the preseason, for the most part. But Kenyon Drake got every touch essentially from the backfield. Mike Davis fumbled too, so I don't expect Mike Davis to be on this team. He doesn't look good. He's kind of slow. Just Kenyon Drake looked better. He didn't really look great. So definitely, if you have Dobbins, I know you're low on Dobbins, but if he's 85% of what he was last time he played, he's going to be great. In terms of receiving work, so Andrews got a lot of targets, nothing in the red zone. In the red zone, it was actually a lot of Duvernay.
I will say
Um,
I'm a little salty
how
because
come?
before the season started, I asked you, I was like, what do you think about Duvernay? Is he going to take away work from Bateman? And what did I see this game? This man scored twice. Talk to me.
So, I'll actually, um, I'm not here to trash Duvernay. One of the plays Lamar made, just stepped up in the pocket, crazy read. The safety, they're playing cover two. Andrews ran like a curl route, like a hitch in the middle of the field, and Duvernay ran like a post behind him. So the far safety came and just bum rushed Andrews as Lamar stepped up because that's his guy, and then he just left the zone behind him wide open. Duvernay easy touchdown. Great route by Duvernay. And then the other one, he actually had the least separation amongst any touchdown catch. I think this was like 2016. He had zero point 0.1 yard of separation. Lamar threw an absolute dot. He showed great hands. Brought the ball in, got a touchdown. It was like a 30-yard bomb on like 3rd and 8 or something. Just great play by Duvernay. But again, or 25-yard. I think that was the 125-yard. But just honestly, um, he wasn't on the field a whole lot. Bateman was the guy. Bateman started getting off the field once the game got out of hand, and we're just trying to run it out. Duvernay and Demarcus Robinson actually ran just about the same number of routes. Uh, honestly, I would not pick him up in fantasy personally, but unless you're like in like a 14, 16 team league, I mean, I guess take a flyer, but just I think this is gonna be an outlier for Duvernay personally.
Yeah, and then regarding the Jets, I think a lot of people are overreacting. If you look at the targets, there was 57 total targets compared to the Baltimore, which obviously Baltimore's up in game scripts, but this team was throwing the ball. 59 attempts from Joe Flacco. Michael Carter looked good. I know that's your boy. Uh,
Love Michael Carter.
Brees Hall
Didn't look so good.
was basically the 1B to Michael Carter, which was not what the draft showed. Brees Hall was being drafted in the fifth, sixth round, which I always said was pretty high, and I didn't touch him. But we'll see how it pans out. But Michael Carter, 10 for 60 on the ground, averaging 6 yards a carry, and 7 for 40 through the air.
That's the Joe Flacco effect, man. And once if you see Joe Flacco at quarterback, trust me, I saw him for plenty of years. He dumps down. Like if you see, I think his running backs had 19 targets. So if you have Michael Carter now, he also dropped a touchdown pass. He could have had a crazy week. Ball hit him right in the chest. He beat Patrick Queen on like a little under route at like the 3 yard line, and just. But honestly, watching the game live, they threw to Corey Davis a lot. Elijah Moore didn't get as involved as I would have thought, but my God, Joseph, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Just Garrett Wilson. If you have, if he's on the waiver wire, pick him up. This man is crazy good. Like just one of the shiftiest. He was their best. In my opinion, he didn't play all the snaps. I think he was fourth behind Barrios in snaps. I love Barrios. Shout out but my God, bro, Garrett Wilson looked great, phenomenal. If I'm the Jets, he's running out there every play. Throw him, Davis, and more out there every play. I'll bring in Barrios. Their tight ends didn't do anything, so I'll run like 4 receivers. Definitely trying to get as many shares of Garrett Wilson. And if you play Dynasty, bro, you're definitely in for a good run if you have Garrett Wilson. I'll just leave it at that.
He was actually third. So if we look at the route participation chart, Elijah Moore, 89% of the routes, Corey Davis, 68, Garrett
Okay.
Wilson, 56, and Braxton Berrios, 47.
Yeah,
So,
it still shouldn't be that close, but
yeah.
yeah, it was him and Barrios were interchanging, and they shouldn't have been, in my opinion. Just give Garrett Wilson the ball, bro. He made like 3 people miss on like a 2 yard catch, almost got a first down on 3rd and 10. Just this guy's crazy. I'll
Yeah.
be honest.
I'm
The
gonna have
guy's
to
insane.
look at some highlights from that game because I didn't see it. I was just watching Red Zone in the 1 o'clock game, so they weren't really like popping up too much except for the
Nobody was
Duvernay
in the red zone.
touchdowns. Yeah.
All the touchdowns were from like 30 plus yards, except for the Jets like last touchdown.
Exactly. Next game we're talking about Jaguars 22, Commanders 28. This was a very surprising game from Carson Wentz, who went 27-41, 313 through the air, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Talk to me
Carson went
about
crazy.
talk to me about these receivers.
Oh, man, these receivers. So I'll be honest with you. I think me and you know just about as much as the next person. I think this game was just ridiculous. I don't see Curtis Samuel getting 11 targets and Terry getting 4. The talent doesn't match up. Now, granted, Curtis is very good. It's just I don't know, man. I have no idea what to take away from these receivers. If you have Terry, if you're happy he scored a touchdown for you on that bomb, I am because I have him in a couple leagues. I'm trying to get rid of Terry, to be honest. S- Gibson was kind of the most surprising person. Got a whole lot of passing down work. No JD McKissick whatsoever, essentially. I think he had like almost triple his targets. I think it was like 8-3. And Jahan Dotson, bro. Rookie receiver. A lot of people didn't want him to go in the first round. Ended up going in the first round and only had 5 targets. But he did you see the game winning touchdown catch he made down the sideline? It
Yeah.
was spectacular. Aside from Deontay Johnson's one handed grab, I think that was probably the second best catch in the week. Like it was, bro, it was a crazy catch. He has good hands, so definitely just hold on to him. I have him in a league or two.
Yeah, Dotson actually
But
had the highest routes among rookie receivers at 40. So he's definitely going to be involved. But I think you're right. I think we can kind of chalk this game up. We don't really know enough to know what's gonna happen down the line. And then on the other side, Christian Kirk, my boy. What did I say before? What was my saucy take?
top 15,
And he did
right?
it.
Was it? He
I'm
did it. What
I'm
was it? 15?
I'm pretty sure he did it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna let you talk about it while I look
Oh,
it up.
no, go ahead. Talk about him. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, because I'm
So,
gonna look it up.
he had like 12 targets, bro. 6 catches. The first half of the game, it was actually a lot of Zay Jones. So, that bodes well, especially if you have Zay Jones. But kind of the thing I wanted to talk about in this game a lot was just the usage for all the running backs. James Robinson. I'm not gonna lie. If you could have fooled me if you told me he tore his Achilles like 10 months ago, 8 9 months ago. Like the guy looked good. He almost looked better than sorry than Travis Etienne. Etienne also didn't look bad, but just trying to see what do you think of Mr. Travis? I'll help you look it up. Don't worry.
Yeah, I can't actually find them on the list. But Travis, James Robinson just said, "I don't really care about my Achilles," and
I'll play
he
through
he
anything.
he was looking like James Robinson of old. 11 for 66 on the ground. He had a catch for 3 yards and a touchdown, both a touchdown on the ground and through the air. I don't know if this is going to be a consistent thing though. I don't know if he's going to last. I don't pray for injuries, but I just Achilles injuries are known to linger. So we'll see what
Yeah, so
happens.
actually finished receiver 20 1 point, receiver 15
You said
and
21?
20. He finished 20,
20?
exactly 20.
Okay.
So it definitely wasn't a far off take. Waddle finished 15th with 18.7 and he had 17.7. He also dropped a touchdown, or not dropped. He just couldn't get his feet in. I don't know if you saw the play. It was made a good catch on the sideline. Couldn't get his feet in. He would have had more points. Definitely would have solidified receiver top like probably top five because it was going to be another touchdown. I had like another 7 9 points to that.
Yeah, if Kirk would have got into the end zone, which he had a couple opportunities, he would have been top 15. But,
Yeah.
you know,
I forgot. My bad. How do you feel about Etienne in that backfield? I know what you said about James Robinson, but like, are you buying this kid? Are you selling this kid? Are you just waiting and seeing if you have him?
I'm waiting and
Are you?
seeing. I don't own him in any leagues,
Yeah,
and
because
this is another person that was drafted really high. So I'd be kind of worried if I was an ETN owner, to be honest.
I'm actually trying to trade for him. So real quick, what do you think if just off the top of your head, Etienne for Damian Pierce?
N- Yeah, I like that.
You like that if you're Etienne owner, or you like that if you're a Pierce owner?
Etienne, just because the the Pierce situation, I'm not really crazy about the Patriots offense compared to the Jags. I feel like the Jags are gonna like Lawrence had 42 attempts, and this team is trying to move the ball more compared to they're getting a little more creative compared to last year. So
Yeah.
I
for
think
the
that
Texans, but
I,
yeah,
I think I
I
think
understood what you were saying.
I think that bodes well for the running back game. So definitely Etienne over Pierce.
Okay, okay. And going now to the next game, we have the Browns and the Panthers. Crazy game. So the end of this game, um, from the Brown side, there's not much to take away other than the running backs are going to running back. The quarterback is going to quarterback, and not in a good way, if you know what I'm saying. And just honestly, just a lot of disappointments from the receivers there. I know Cooper didn't have a good stat line, but he looked good, bro. Brissett missed him a couple times. It's Jacoby Brissett, but again, this is the whole reason why some people weren't high on Cooper and some people were. I was kind of indifferent. I don't have him in any leagues. Wasn't targeting him, but like he's not a bad player. It's just the quarterback situation is so bad. He I don't know if you saw he got open for like a bomb down the field and just Brissett could not fit it into him. It was actually a pass interference afterwards. Also, Njoku, only one target after becoming a top. I think at the time like top five paid tight end. I think now it's top six or top seven. But he was on like participated just about in every route. I'm pretty sure. Just didn't get targeted. But you know who did get targeted? DPJ, Donovan Peoples Jones. 11 targets for him. How do you feel about just the Browns offense in general, and especially Mr. DPJ? Are you targeting him in waivers? Is this a fluke game? Are you not really sold? What's the vibe?
I'm not sold on DPJ, but Hunt and Chubb are continuing to do what we've seen in the past couple years and be both viable running backs. And yeah, Chubb just 22 for 141, 6.4 on the average. Chubb looks great.
The Chubb Club is back.
Yeah. And then on the other side, CMC 10 for 33 on the ground, 3.3 a carry. He did score, and then 4 for 24 and through the air. It's not CMC numbers. I'll say that, but I think that just has to do with Baker Mayfield coming into a new offense and he's still getting used to these players. I, I will say I am disappointed in DJ Moore. 3 for 43 on 6 targets. I feel like he should have been more featured. I didn't watch too much of this game, but he needs to he needs to be like 8 9 targets a game at least.
Yeah, he actually wasn't really involved in the first half at all. I think he had like two targets at halftime. And then in one drive, he had two catches, and like he made people miss like crazy. You were like, oh, maybe we should get this guy the ball. Like, yes, man, he's your. I mean, Robbie had a great game. Robbie's a deep threat. He's always been a deep threat. Had a really good year a couple of years ago. Kind of faded out last year. I think that was because Sam the man was throwing him the ball. And just looked bad. Honestly, real quick though, McCaffrey, I don't know if you saw, he had like this crazy fumble recovery on like a botched snap, and he like it essentially looked like a draw play afterwards because it was like a bad snap. Baker fumbled it, he picked it up, and he ran for like 30 yards, and it just didn't get counted to his fantasy because it was a fumble recovery. It wasn't a carry, but he looked. McCaffrey looks like McCaffrey, but this quarterback and just this whole team in general is kind of ugly right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we'll see. I think Baker will get a little bit better as the season progresses, but a QBR of 37 is not good.
Not cutting it.
The next game we're talking about are the Colts and the Texans. I know you had the Texans winning this game as the underdog, so this must be very disappointing that it ended up in a tie.
Bro, let me, man. First of all, Lovey Smith, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. How do you want to win over a locker room? Like you guys are already supposed to be shit, like right? Like nobody expects you guys to be good. It's like 4th and 1 with like 30 seconds left in overtime, and you decide to punt the football to play for a tie. Like, I'm sorry. If I'm a player, bro, my coach is a bitch. 100%. That's a bitchest move I've ever seen. Fuck that shit. Like, bro, either we win or we lose. I'm not settling for a fucking tie. Like, we're like the Colts are a good team, and we had like they had the chance to beat them. It was 20-3. They choked that, but beside, like, come on, man. Like, you gotta go for it. Like, what are you doing, my guy? What are you doing, my guy? Sorry,
Yeah.
that really pissed me off right there.
No, I don't blame you. I'm not really a fan of ties. Like, I think there should be a winner. Just keep playing until someone slips up and a team
Yeah, man.
scores, bro. Like, ties are ties are for soccer.
Yeah, and even then. But
Yeah.
I a million percent I agree, man. I just like, it doesn't make sense to play for a tie. But I mean, getting into the game, bro. I mean, Matt Ryan looked bad. I'm gonna be honest. Matt Ryan looked pretty bad. I know his stats ended up looking a lot prettier than they were, but they could not get shit going when they were playing through Matt Ryan. They were like, maybe, maybe this guy we have back there, Mr. Taylor, maybe he could get us going, and he did, sure he
You
did.
know, when your running back is averaging 5.2, you might as well just keep giving him the ball. He's gonna move the chains. And it's bad when the second best receiver is Naheem Hines, the RB2. Pittman was the only guy that really worked for Matt Ryan. He had 9 for 121 through the air and a touchdown off of 13 targets. Pittman
He
is
had tunnel vision for him.
Yeah, Pittman. I think he's gonna do this the whole season. This is gonna be a consistent thing. We saw. I forgot. I don't know if it was Paris Campbell or I forgot which. It might have been Alec Pierce actually.
It
That
was Pierce.
Yeah, he dropped a wide open touchdown. It was so disappointing. But um, you got these other receivers just really not. I don't know
They
if
didn't
I don't
do
know if
anything.
we should blame the receivers or Matt Ryan. To be honest.
I mean, the receivers, Dolan also dropped a tutty. A
Yeah.
harder catch than Pierce, but I mean, at the same time, it wasn't looking good. What I'm actually surprised was that Granson guy, the damn grandson of mine. He got more. He just got more involved in Mo Alley Cox. I would have never expected it. They also drafted Jelani Woods this year in the draft, like a 6'7" monster tight end, broke the combine, but can't turn to save his life. And he didn't even get utilized. So, or obviously, he didn't get targeted. Just I don't know, man. It definitely feels like Pittman and Hines are just going to carry this offense for the most part. A couple Paris Campbell touches, maybe a little sprinkle of other players, but really for fantasy relevance, it's going to be Taylor, Pittman, and Hines.
Yeah, and then on the other side, we got Burkhead out carrying Damian Pierce,
Stuff.
14 to 40. Damian Pierce had 11 for 33, and then Cooks doing Cooks things, 7 for 82 off of 12 targets. The person behind Brandon Cooks was Burkhead with 8 targets, which is pretty crazy.
Surprising, honestly. I wasn't expecting all this from Burkhead. I mean, I knew he was going to be involved. What kind of surprised me was the fact that they kept giving him the ball, even though they were up. So I would have thought he would have just been like the third down guy, but he kind of did a little bit of everything. Again, I just feel like that's Lovey Smith, not leaning into the rookie and stuff like that. But honestly, down the road, if you, I have Damian Pierce in a couple leagues, like just hold on to the guy.
Yeah,
They played a great defense. First of all, like the Colts are very very good defensively, so there's definitely brighter days ahead. And just I think talent's gonna win out. Yeah, Burkhead's always gonna have a role, and it's gonna kind of hurt you, but it is what it is. Going on to the next game here, we got the Giants and the Titans. This was a woozy of a game. I actually took the Titans to win. I'm kind of glad they didn't. I don't really like the Titans. Fuck the Titans. But bro, Saquon. Want to talk about Saquon, bro? That's my dog right there. You know how to take him. I always say in fantasy drafts, like, if you're not first, you're last. So if you're just gonna take a player because he has a safe floor but he has no upside, then don't take that player. Take the player with the upside. Because if you lose by one, if you lose by 50, you still lost. And if a player hits, it's gonna be worth more than a guy getting you 6 points a week. So Saquon hit. Talk about hitting. He smacked the wood. He smacked everything out the Titans. Just 18, 164 was like their most targeted receiver. Like this is what you expected from Christian McCaffrey, and he gave you what you expected from Christian McCaffrey. Like just went crazy. In general, no other takeaways from. I mean, the takeaway: Kenny Galladay still stiff as a mannequin. Sterling Shepard is he caught a bomb. I don't like him. What's interesting is they only played Tony like 7 snaps or something, which is very interesting because they gave him 2 carries, but, like, man, like, Gator, if you're watching this, bro, hit me up, bro. I'll take Tony off your hands. I loved Kadarius Tony, man. I really do. I'm actually considering trading Tyler Boyd for him in a league. I know that's very iffy, but I'd be getting some fab back. It's just like I said, man, shoot for upside, bro. Like Boyd is never gonna be he's never gonna be wide receiver one material. Um, Tony could be top 15, top 20. Like the guy is that talented. Like I don't know if you saw the play. He made like 6 people miss, bro. Like
Yeah, I saw it.
how does like this guy is crazy. And I mean, yeah, that's tell us about that. What did you see from Tennessee?
So there wasn't much that happened really in the passing game to me. Kyle Phillips led the team 6 for 66 through the air on 9 targets. I do want to talk about Traylon Burks though. He only had 13 routes ran, but he had 5 targets, which is a 38.5% target per route run,
Elite.
which is pretty good. It's pretty good. It was second among rookies on the week, only to Kyle Phillips, who had a 42.9% target per route run off of 21 routes.
Yeah.
So I wasn't. I don't know if you expected this. I didn't see this coming. Kyle Phillips leading the team. Robert Woods being non-existent.
So I'll be very honest with you. In terms of Kyle Phillips, first of all, I loved Kyle Phillips. I saw him in the Senior Bowl on like the 1v1 reps. He was just dogging kids, bro. He played at UCLA. Converted running back to wide receiver. I believe he was a converted running back to wide receiver. I might be wrong, but look at that, man. They don't even have his picture up there. Oh,
No,
I was
they
about
do.
to
They
say.
do.
I was about to say. Yeah, bro. Just very solid. He got taken in the 5th round, but I don't know if you know who Brett Coleman is. Brett Coleman, one of the most famous NFL YouTubers. He compared him to Hunter Renfro with firecracker with like fireworks in his ass. Like he's just shifty as fuck, bro. Like great speed, not a down threat guy, but like just like a nice solid receiver, good hands. So I like Cal Phillips. Is he gonna do this every week? I mean, I hope they give him more chances than they gave to like Westbrook Akeem. Like he didn't do nothing. And just Robert Woods put up a big old dud. I was off on Woods entirely. I think if you should have taken somebody, it was Burks. And you can see like I don't know what do you think it is with coaches, man? Just not letting the better player just play off the rip. Like what like gaining some kind of like what's up with that, man?
are
It's
you
too old school, bro.
are you referring to Woods right now?
Yeah, like just not just Woods, but Westbrook Akeen in specific. Like, bro,
Yeah.
Traylon Burks is better than this guy. Like you wasted a 1st round pick on him. Let the man play. Like it's that simple. Like
N- Yeah.
he's basic.
And
They
what?
traded AJ Brown for him.
Yeah. And Woods this scenario, like I kind of think the ACL. I don't think he's fully recovered yet. Like if he's only getting 2 targets, I don't know how many routes he ran, but like that's not good. You know,
It's not good.
I don't think he's fully recovered yet, which is why I don't have him in any leagues. But
I was I was shocked too. Hilliard getting all the passing down work. That's a new little wrinkle. So I'll be very honest with you. I'm very off on Derrick Henry this year.
mm,
I was off on him early in the season. I'm not a fan of just like for at that point, just take Nick Chubb. You get what I'm saying? Like you're getting running backs that have absolutely no passing down work, and you're just relying on running. And this guy's older than Chubb. Chubb as a runner, probably a little bit better than Henry at this point, especially after an injury. Just I don't know, man. Very off on Chubb. Now you saw Hilliard get all the passing down work. Puts me even more down on Chubb. I actually got offered him for Kareem Hunt and AJ Dillon. I declined the offer. I don't want him. I don't want to see him. Leave him over there.
yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I'm with you. Next game we're talking about Packers lost to the Vikings 7-23. Aaron Rodgers 22 for 34, 195 and no touchdowns and an interception. It
Bill,
did not look good for a team that didn't have Lazard. I think the Packers I saw a lot of this game. They were in shambles.
No idea what they're doing out there. I think they talk about tilting week 1, they were tilting week 1. Like, they just no receivers, man. Like, I mean, Lazard isn't a world beater, but my goodness, Christian Watson, who I personally do like, dropping that bomb, just I know Aaron Rodgers was like, "Was that Marquez Valdes-Scantling out there?" Like, it just looked just like him. Um, it's just it was an ugly game. I'm off on Rodgers as well, but, you know who I'm on? I'm on Mr. Dillon, bro.
Yes.
Mr. Dillon.
So if we look at the opportunities, Dylan had 16 and Jones had 10.
Yep.
So I wasn't expecting like Dylan to be the 1A, but that's what we saw. I don't think this is going to be consistent. I think Jones is going to get more involved in the passing game. I know he had 6 targets. I think he's going to get more than that, but I think they're both going to put up similar numbers. Obviously, we just saw Dylan drop a 20 bomb in fantasy. He had 10 for 45 on the ground and a touchdown, and then he had 5 for 46 through the air, which is
He led them in targets. I mean, I'm sorry, he led them in receiving yards. He led them in carries. He scored their only touchdown. He was their goal line back.
yeah,
If you have Dillon like I do, I think I have him just in every league. I just love AJ Dillon. You feel pretty good about him. And they were actually down the whole game. So imagine if they have positive game script, like both of them are gonna eat. So maybe this is a like you're starting both of them regardless. I think from here on out, but definitely feel more confident starting them if like they play the Bears this week, and I know they won, but it's the Bears.
for sure. And then on the other side, we got Dalvin Cook, which I'm not worried about at all. He had 20 carries for 90, averaging 4.5 and 3 for 18 through the air. If he scores, he's getting 20. Yeah, he got
Yep.
he got around 13 in fantasy. And then we got Jay Jettas, 9 for 184 and 2 touchdowns. He's the best receiver in the game.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say he's definitely the best young receiver in the game. I think, bro, he is. I don't know if you saw like the clip of people talking on Twitter talking about Jair Alexander saying, "Well, let me guard him." It's like Justin Jefferson absolutely killing him on like on an in route. Just oh my god, like he's crazy. So my hot take was him and Thielen were going to be top 15 weeks. I think him by himself made that possible. Thielen didn't do much, but I think I get a pass because Justin Jefferson went absolutely bonkers. I
Yeah,
like the
and
offense.
and Cousins, I did have that prop, the over 1.5 touchdowns. He
Easy,
he got that before halftime.
easy. Both
He
to Jay Jettas.
and
He
he
knew where to
a-
look at.
and he didn't score after that, so I guess he knew I had the prop, and he's like, "This one's for Swift. Let
Yeah,
him not stress about this pick."
I spoke to him. I spoke to him about your prop personally. He's like, "Yeah, bro, I got you." I was like, "Thank you, Kirky."
I appreciate it.
No problem. Moving on to the Chiefs game. What an onslaughter. This was an absolute and you wanted this game. You liked this game because of the fantasy potential, but what you failed to realize it was only for one team. It was only for one team. Mahomes had 5 passing touchdowns. I believe like 4 of them were at halftime, bro. I don't know. The game was over in the first quarter. It was 14-0 and like the Cardinals looked defeated. Kyler Murray was throwing his hands up. He didn't know what to do. Like nobody was getting open. It was just a bad game for the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Kelsey is the best tight end, and it's not close. Like I love Andrews, but
Understandable.
Kelsey, without Tyreek Hill, Mahomes is feeding Kelsey. He had 8 for 121 and a touchdown through the air. And I didn't expect Clyde to drop a 20 bomb in fantasy, but
Clyde looked good.
it's partly because he did get 2 touchdowns through the air. I will say
Yeah,
that Isaiah Pacheco did outcarry him. It could have been due to game script. The
yeah, it
Chiefs
was fourth quarter
the Chiefs
carries.
were up, but I'm not doing victory laps with Clyde.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest. I'm if I have Clyde, I would feel very happy. I have Clyde again. If I don't have him, I don't want to necessarily trade for him. I think his value is a little crazy right now, especially after this week. Um, but I think he's going to be viable. RB2 slash flex maybe. He got a lot of the work with the first team. Once the game got out of hand, then in came honestly, I just think the Cardinals defense is horrible because everybody. I think you could have been out there at running back and you would have been a fantasy option this week, bro. Like it was bad. Um, I'm gonna be. So let me preface this by saying Travis Kelsey is, I think, very easily best tight end in the league. With that being said, the Cardinals are the worst team at guarding tight ends. So he did go crazy, but I don't expect 8 for 121 every week. So just I had Kelsey last year with Tyreek, and just Kelsey's great, man, but it's the Cardinals defense. And on the Cardinals side, Greg Dortch, man, I saw this guy play us in the preseason. Swift, motherfucker can play ball. I'm not gonna lie, I never heard of this guy before. He was cooking the Ravens out there. Just out targeted Hollywood. Kind of shocked me. Hollywood didn't have the best game. I also think it's just because he got like the Legarius Sneed treatment, and like everybody was like, "All right, where's Hollywood Brown at? That's what we're gonna guard." But definitely saved his day with the tutty. Just not really much to take away. Connor looked like Connor. He actually looked pretty decent a couple plays. Just again, they had nothing. Like they were just depleted. Zach Ertz scored a touchdown late, which actually helped them. But I'm off of the Ertz train, 1,000,000%.
Yeah, he almost didn't play this game, so but
Exactly. You know
I
what? You know who I do like in this game? Sorry to cut you off there.
yeah.
Mr. Benjamin, bro. Shout out Eno. Love me some Eno Benjamin. I see. I'm actually, it's kind of unfortunate I'm saying this because I have some claims and some links where I put down some fab on him. Just really like him, bro. I think he is like watching him with the ball in his hands is like he's good. He was good at. I think he went. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher. I think it was Iowa State, maybe Arizona State or Iowa. It was one of those three. Where he went to college at, and he just again just looked very good, just in general.
Yeah, I see a lot of Chase Edmonds in him.
Yes, absolutely. And you're high on Chase Edmonds, so you got to be high on Mr. Benjamin.
Exactly, exactly.
Let the bidding war commence.
Next game we're talking about Raiders 19, Chargers 24. Davante Adams 10 for
Las Vegas Adams.
141 and a
Just
touchdown off of 17 targets. He led the league in targets. I thought Chase was going to lead with 16. Nope. Davante Adams said, "Let me get
hold
that."
my beer. He
Yeah.
said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, Carr and Adams connection is definitely there. I
So
will say Waller, he only had 6 targets, but he made the best out of him, averaging almost 20 yards a catch, 4 catches for 79 yards. The running game, Josh Jacobs was not. I mean, it was there, but, like, I guess it was game script, right?
Yeah, they were down a lot. At one point, they actually made it a very close game. But I'll be very honest. So I do like Josh Jacobs. I think this is a good offense. They played the Chargers. Chargers have a good defense. Their O line sucks, by the way. The Raiders O line was horrible. You see, he got sacked. They had like 6 sacks, 5 on Carr. Just he had no time, so that kind of hurts him. But like Jacobs should be good enough. Like this offense should be good enough, and Jacobs clearly was the only running back. Like you barely saw Zamir White, barely saw Amir Abdullah, Brandon Bolden got a couple carries, but like it's very clearly Jacobs. So if you do have Jacobs, feel pretty good about that.
That's
And
true.
on the other side, Mr. Austin Eckler, not the most efficient game. I don't really know what to attribute that to. Just not the best game for Mr. Eckler. Had a couple catches, four targets, 4 catches. But I saw Herbert spreading this ball around a lot. once Keenan Allen got hurt. Unfortunately, Keenan got hurt. I think he had those 66 yards in like the first quarter. Like this
Yeah.
guy was killing whoever was lined up across from him. What's kind of disappointing though is Mr. Mikey Mike. I have Mike. And talk about boomer bust player, man. 2 for 19. And Keenan was out since the first quarter. What are the vibes? What are the vibes from Mr. Mikey Mike for you, man?
I didn't see the game, so I'm just gonna assume that it was just coverage and like
I don't know.
the other guys were open. I think he'll bounce back, and I think he's a good buy low candidate, especially with Keenan dealing with it's a hamstring issue, right?
Yeah, it's a hamstring issue. They actually play tomorrow versus the Chiefs, so it should
Yeah.
be a high scoring game. But
Yeah, I don't really have an issue with this. Um this is a
Mike
chalk.
Williams.
I'm chalking this game up really for Mike Williams. I think he'll bounce back fine. And then your boy Gerald Everett.
Yes, sir.
You spoke about him last week. 3 for 54 through the air and a touchdown. And now with Keenan out, he'll probably get more than 4 targets now.
He's the guy who dominates the middle of the field, like the short area stuff. So kind of like Keenan does. I'm not saying he's Keenan Allen. There is only one Keenan Allen, and it's Keenan Allen. But just yeah, man. Like I said, I'm very high on him. You give me a tight end with his advanced metrics, a good offense with a good quarterback, and I'll take my chances. So I'm very glad I took him where I took him. I think he's probably priority pickup in waivers for tight ends. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man,
I don't
not much to take away.
I don't really see the hype behind Joshua Palmer. This man averaged 1.7 a catch, 3 catches for 5 yards.
So I'm actually going to defend him because I do like Joshua Palmer. Liked him in Tennessee. He got taken a little high, according to some people, but he had 2 games in his whole career. I think this is second year. Yeah, second year. So he had 2 games last year where he actually got over 80% of the snaps. One was a Mike Williams injury, and the other was a Keenan injury. In those 2 games, he got 13 targets combined, 10 catches, 109 yards, and 2 tutties. Both weeks finished with over 15 fantasy points in PPR. And I think I think the guy's more. I think the guy's good, man. I think he passes the eye test. Every game he got over six targets or more, and he had double digit fantasy points. Um, if you have him, if he's available, and you have Keenan Allen, I think you should definitely consider just taking him and like plug in this week.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Moving on. Talk about your Tom, man. Talk about Tom.
Hey, I'm not gonna say I called it. People are actually like praising Tom for some of the throws that he made in this game, which they look good. They look good, but in a fantasy aspect, I think he only had 12 or 13 points. Didn't do much. He had one touchdown through the air, and that was to Mike Evans, which was a beautiful catch. Um, this game was a snooze fest. I actually did not watch this game because I had a feeling this was gonna happen,
Yep.
and I'm glad I didn't waste my time. I watched Game of Thrones instead. That was entertaining. But
I have to catch up.
but Fournette, man, 21 for 127.
Uncle Lenny, man. Sucks because I wasn't too high on Uncle Lenny, and he kind of shut us up. I think you weren't too high on him either. But it just seems to me Uncle Lenny's gonna be relevant because talk about Uncle Tom is out there, Grandpa Tom at this point. He's out there, his arm's about to fall off. They're like, you know what? Let's just run this season a little bit more. Excuse me.
I'm actually not.
I
I'm actually not buying it.
Oh, you're not.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. I think.
Tell me.
I
Tell me.
think. I think it just happened to happen this game. But like, I think Rashad White is gonna become more involved. I don't think they want to give Fournette this amount of touches every game, and I don't think he can sustain it. So obviously we'll see what happens, but I'm not taking victory laps with Fournette yet.
Yeah, I definitely think Rashad White should be rostered in every single league. 10 team, 12 team, take him, bro. He was a good receiver in college. Actually had 2 targets in his first game with Tom Brady, which is as a rookie that you should be proud of that. And he ran the ball a lot. I think Lenny got hurt or something towards the end of the game because they didn't really play him or something, but I know his numbers don't look that good, but you take the best running, like you take the backup running back on a very good offense, like this is projected to be. How do you feel
Yeah.
about Uncle Julio though, man? This team is full of uncles now that I'm thinking about it, man. Jesus Christ.
Um, so he had 3 for 69 through the air off of 5 targets. Every time he caught a ball and got tackled, he was slow to get up.
Oh my god.
It,
It
I,
was I'm sorry, but it was funny.
yeah, it was kind of funny, but like I would be worried if I was an owner. Like I like to see my players bounce back up when they get hit, you know? And you're never gonna see that with Julio. This man looks like an old man.
You know, to this day, that man is he's out there at his house. It hurts for him to pick up the remote control. He was trying to watch House of Dragons on the next day, but he just couldn't, bro. The guy was struggling, man. He was struggling. With that being said, pick him up if he's available because Chris Godwin is out for a couple weeks minimum with the hamstring injury. He looked good, bro.
Yeah,
I, when he got out there, I think first play they gave him a pass, and I was like, oh my god,
yeah,
this guy tore his ACL how long ago? He looked very good, and then he got hurt, obviously, per huge. But
yo,
for the Cowboys, there was I'm not gonna lie, if you're a Cowboys fan, just log out right here because I'm not gonna say very nice things about your team. Starting with the owner, what the fuck is Jerry Jones doing? Like you guys are Zeke looked good, but you guys are paying Zeke all this money, and just what happened to the O line in front of him, man? Like you decided to pay the running back, but not the offensive line. Like, have y'all not seen the Giants over the past like 3 years? Saquon's been getting killed. Finally decided to invest some first round capital, and Saquon goes crazy. Just I don't understand. I don't understand like and not investing in your weapons. Like I don't know, man. They're going downhill. Dak didn't look good. He didn't have any time. CD had 11 targets for what? Like empty ass targets. He just if you have CD, bro, and you can get any value for him, try to because yeah, he's gonna get hyper targeted, but at the same, bro, like how much do you expect? Like, I love CD Lamb, but he's never been a one. He's never been a one. He's always been Cooper was getting the vast majority of the attention, and then Lamb was getting the second most, but then they still had, that killer offensive line, Tony Pollard, Zeke, and it just doesn't look to be the case this year. So I don't know, man. I'm off the entire offense. That counts. I think the only person I'm on is Zeke.
I'm
Barely.
actually not really panicking on CD to be honest
Oh,
because he's a slot receiver. I think Cooper Rush will be able to get him the ball often, and he's the Yak King. So I think he's gonna get his. It's obviously just not his ceiling is gonna be lower, but I think his floor is still there.
I completely agree. Take away the next game.
Yeah. So the last game of the week was probably one of the biggest upsets. The Broncos lost to the Seahawks 16-17. Russell Wilson 340 through the air, 1 touchdown, which was to Jerry Judy. And Javonte Williams is really the highlight of this game for me. For I would say for the both of us. I'm gonna speak for both of us. Javonte Williams had 11 catches for 65 through the air off of 12 targets and 7 for 43 on the ground. These are CMC numbers that Javonte is putting up. I mean, not through the ground, but through the air. I don't think anyone was really expecting him to get this kind of volume through the air, but he looked great. He's averaging 6.1 on the ground and then 5.9 through the air. So
Yeah, if you're a Broncos fan, you should be disappointed. Y'all could have won this game like 4 times. I guess they just wanted, Seattle to feel good for a week, but Melvin Gordon fumbled at the goal line. Javante fumbled at the goal line, but the Javante one, it was kind of weird. Like it looked like a bobbled like exchange. By the
Yeah.
time he got the ball, the I don't know who was trying to block for him, but they weren't doing a good job.
Yeah,
And he got popped.
the guy was wrapping the one that was blocking for Javante, and his hand just, like,
Yeah,
popped the
great play
ball.
by him.
Yeah, it just popped the ball out. And it was funny because I was talking to Hunter during the game, and he's a Javante owner, I'm a Javante owner, and he's like, "Bro, they keep giving Melvin Gordon the ball." He was getting mad. And then when Melvin Gordon fumbled, he was so happy. He's like, "Javante stock up through the roof." So then later in the game, he FaceTimes me, and he's like a minute ahead of me, and he knows that. He's like, "Bro, watch this play." And I see Javante get, and it's on the goal line. I'm like, "Oh, he's about to
It's
punch it
about to
in.
happen,
We're about to be hype. This is gonna be great for both of us. We both have him." This man fumbles the ball.
bro.
I couldn't believe it. I
I
couldn't
mean, I
believe
lost
it.
because of that fumble.
That's crazy.
I
But
lost. I lost by 6 points. He would have had a touchdown, and you know, the not taking away the -2, I would have won. But
but
honestly, I like Judy. I thought he looked good, bro.
yeah, I
Um,
still like Sutton more.
that's interesting. I do like both of them. I'll be honest. In general, stock up for both these receivers. Stock
Yeah,
down for receiver 3, whoever it is.
yeah,
KJ Hamler didn't get involved.
yeah,
Um, insert name wasn't relevant. I think Albert O. Eh, I don't know how to feel, man. He
yeah.
had 6 targets. They were all like 3-yard routes, and he just like turned around, fell forward 6 yards. I don't know how much of that you can enjoy, but definitely Sutton and Judy were getting bombs. Like it was like Russell was out there like, you know what? I don't want to throw slant routes. I'm throwing 9 routes. I think they had, I don't know how many penalties the Seahawks had, but it was a lot. It was a lot of just straight pass interference, especially for Sutton. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I just think Judy after the catch looks like Judy did in Bama. He looks
yeah,
like that guy after the catch.
yeah. And then
And
on the other
what
side,
do you,
we got Metcalf. I know he didn't put up like huge numbers, but he went 7 for 7. So, and I think that number is gonna rise. Geno Smith, to me, put on a surprising uh
show?
show because he was 23 for 28, 195 and 2 touchdowns. One to Disley and then the other one to Parkinson. Yeah,
I have nothing to say about this
yeah,
side of the ball.
yeah.
This is if you have Rashad Penny, I guess you're proud because they were giving him the ball a lot. I don't think he's going to be getting the ball this much, considering just honestly everything. Like the team kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie, their defense was good, but if you have DK, bro, this is not how you wanted to see DK get used. They were throwing him screen passes and telling him get some yards because Gino could not throw. Like it looks like they were just basically like they manufactured the entire game around Geno Smith's inability to push the ball downfield. And as a DK Metcalf owner, if you have Tyler Lockett, you feel like absolute dog shit right now because he did fucking nothing. He was irrelevant. He got the second most targets on the team. But like I said, man, Geno Smith is gonna put a cap on this offense that you're gonna hate. I don't think he's gonna be startable. I think the only person like you throw into your lineup is DK because he has the ability to break off a tutty. But other than that, him and Penny, and you don't feel confident about either. I don't think they help me sleep at night knowing they're in my lineup.
I agree. I agree 100%.
And with that being said, man, I think that'll wrap it up, right? Anything else you want to get to?
No, I will say that if you're watching this on YouTube, we are also on podcasts. So if you're on the road, you can just listen to us while you're driving or whatever. And then vice versa, if you're listening on podcasts, we also have video on YouTube where you can actually see the things that we're talking about.
Yeah, man, as people say, man, put the D in that subscribe button down there. We need that D and that subscribe button down there. Follow us on Apple Podcasts. If you guys leave a comment actually on whatever platform, 5-star rating and a comment on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and just a comment on the YouTube, we'll answer any questions that you have regarding fantasy. trade offers, thoughts, opinions, whatever you want. We'll talk about it. We'll have a segment dedicated to you guys.
Yep.
And with all that being said, hey, per usual, stay saucy, my friends. I thought that was